Welcome to my next playthrough series. Yeah, we're going to be doing a two-player game of Clank in space. Now, I've played Clank two-player, the original Clank game, and I've also played Clank solo. This has a solo version as well with the app, but we're going to be doing a two-player game. We're going to take a look at the cards we can purchase here. We're going to look at some cards that we can always purchase. And the setup of the board, everything's set up for a two-player game. You put two of these little minor discovery tokens on every space it tells you to. The boards are modular. There's 1, 2, 3 modules here, and they're double-sided. I've got it set up for like the most introductory game, which is the Doomsday Cannon, the Med Lab, and Hydroponics they suggest for your first game. And I'm going to be playing the white player. So there's a white meeple and there's an orange one. And because I'm first player, I put 3 Clank tokens. This is the noise we make in the Clank space. And the orange player, the second player, puts in 2. And so yeah, I'm going to zoom down here a little bit. This is the market deck. We can get a key to pass passages on the board that have key symbols. We have a health kit. You can pick up a healing 2 health. We have a portal for we can get. Everything costs 7 credits. A portal, which means you can go from the portal spaces, these blue ones, from one to the other for no boot symbol movement. And we have bounty or goods, I think. Is it goods? Contraband. And these are worth points. 10 points for contraband, 5 for each of these, costing 7 credits. Of course, you have to get to a market space. There are these little red spots on the board with little hatches. They're security zones. It means if you move into a security zone, you can no longer use boots, which is the movement symbol, to move anymore. You can still teleport somewhere. Okay, let's take a look at the cards we can buy quickly, the ones we can always buy. And then I think we're just going to get into the game. You'll see how it plays as we play. The gist of the game is we're trying to get, this is the cargo bay, we've gone in here, and we're into Lord Insidious's ship, or what, Invidious, whatever his name is, I forget. And we're trying to go to the command center and steal one of, there's 4 artifacts in a 2-player game, and they are worth points. And you can only carry 1 artifact, so you want to try and get the most expensive one. There's a 30, a 10, a 15, and a 5, and you want to get out. Get in an escape pod, they're worth 20 points. If you can get back and get out in an escape pod. If you get knocked out when you're not in the cargo bay or in any other part of the ship, you're automatically out of the game, you get no points. If you get knocked out here, you still get to claim your points, but of course you never got to an escape pod. And of course if you get out in an escape pod, you're going to get the 20 points for doing it. You'll see how it plays. Alright, let's take a look at the cards we can purchase. We're going to look at the starting decks as well. So we'll just zoom down here a little bit and get to that. Alright, so as part of the setup, we put out 6 cards here that we can buy. The purchase cost for the cards is in the lower right hand corner. So this costs 2, this is 3, 4, 2, and 2. And this one you need sword symbols to defeat it, and then as you defeat it, you see here, you get a reward, and this is -2 Clank. So you get rid of the security officer, you're making less noise because there's nobody to report you. And each of these cards has, of course, specific things to say. There are factions, 3 different factions in the game. As you can see here, we've got the green faction here. And if you play a green faction card in conjunction with another green faction card, you can actually get the green faction ability, which is a different text. So you can get synergies by getting the same factions. There's another faction, scientist faction, I think, the orange ones. So that's something different in the game as well. Alright, everyone starts with a starting hand, and you've got 6 hack cards, which give you basically purchase power. You get a scramble card, give you 1 movement. Purchase power, you get an access, 1 movement, and you get, of course, a couple of stumble cards because you're tripping over the little waxy 9000, which is always cleaning underfoot. So, tripping over that. So that's your starting hand. They get shuffled up, and 5 cards is what you have in your hand. And cards you can always purchase. You can always purchase the memory core. It's worth, you got to purchase it for 7 cost. It's worth 5 points at the end of the game. And of course it comes up in your hand, doesn't do anything. You can purchase the phaser, which costs you 2, giving you a purchase power, and 2 laser sabers. You can always purchase the Boldly Go, which gives you 2 purchase power and a movement for 3. And lastly, you can always fight the Goblin for 2 sword symbols to defeat it, and that gets you a credit. And credits are worth, for every credit you have at the end of the game, it's worth a point as well. Alright, without further ado, we're going to back the camera out. We're going to start our game. And like I said, the white player, ourselves here, is the first player. So let's get to it. And of course, one thing I didn't mention over here is Lord Insidious himself is sitting at the 2-player. It says 2-player, 3-player, 4. So we start here. Every time there's an attack that comes up, and you'll see how that works, we're going to be pulling 3 cubes out of the bag. We do have a bag here with 24 black cubes in it. And as we make more and more noise in the ship, these cubes get thrown into the bag. And if these get pulled out, you get damaged. And there's a damage track at the top. You basically have 10 health. You ever get knocked out, get all 10 damage, you're going to be in trouble unless you're in the cargo bay. Okay, let's begin. Oh, and there's some red cubes at the very top of the track over there too. I'll explain those as we go. Those are basically bounty hunters. They come out here in the Clank space as well. And when they get drawn out of the bag, everybody takes damage, and they go back in the Clank space. So the evil dude starts hiring bounty hunters to take you out. Alright, so our starting hand, 5 cards. We've got a hack. We have a movement access, a stumble, a hack, and a scramble. So it looks like we can move 2 spaces. We have a purchase power of 1, 2, 3, but we do have to add a clank into the clank area. So we'll do that. And you have to play all your cards. So we're stumbling. We've got 2 movement and 3 recruit points. All right, for 3 recruit points, I think we're going to do for our recruit points right away. We're just going to go ahead and pay 3 for Boldly Go. This just goes into our discard pile, like such. And then we have 2 boots, so let's get moving up here on the board. And I hope this is all going to focus good because everything's a little bit far away. So we're the white meeple, and I could have them standing up, but I'm laying them down easier to see. We could only go here for 1, and then for 2 we're going to move down to here. Of course, there's a lock symbol here, so we would need that lock key. We have to buy it for 7 to be able to pass through here, but of course right now we can't. And when you see the little 2 footprints there, it means you need 2 movement to get across there. Yeah. And so there we start. And this is the turbo lift area thing, transit lift. You can go from here to any other of the orange spaces without spending boots. You can just zip around the board. All right, so then we just discard our cards that we've played. And they go into our discard pile, and we grab 5 new ones. So our hand for next time will be 4 hacks and another stumble. All right, over we go to the orange player. All right. Oh, and if you purchase a card from down here, they get replaced at the end of your turn. And if there's an attack symbol on it, then there will be an attack. But that did not happen. All right, player 2, orange player, his hand. He's got an access for movement, and he's got a hack of 4. All right, so he basically has purchase power of 4 and 1 movement. So for 1 movement, we'll just do the same. There's only one direction he can go. He's just going to go there. Boom, his movement is done. He has a purchase power of 4. And for 4, you know what? I think he's going to go ahead and get the Android Runaway from, yeah, there it is. Costing 4, some androids are built to run. And if there's a faction synergy, this turn you get +1 boot, and you don't have to stop at security checkpoints. Cool. So it's worth 2 purchase power, 1 movement right now. That's going to go in his discard pile. And yeah, that's basically the end of his turn. So of course at the end of the turn, we draw a new card to replace the one that was purchased. And we have an underworld contact with this faction, purple faction. All right, that goes into the purchase area, costing 3. And that's going to be the end of orange player's turn. I'm going to drop 5 new cards, and his 5 cards are going to be a hack, a scramble, and 2 clank. Ooh, he's really fumbling. All right, back we go to ourselves. So as you can see, a relatively quick little game, and we'll see how many episodes. I'm not sure. Probably do, I don't know. I'll probably be around the 20-minute mark per episode. That might be 3 or 4. I'm not sure. We'll see. All right, so like I said, we've got a stumble and a 4 purchase power. So we got to put a clank in there because we're fumbling around, and we have a purchase power of 4. What do we want to do for 4? Ooh, this guy is pretty nasty. All players get +1 clank, but it gives you 1 of each. I don't know if I particularly like that guy. I think for 4, we're going to get a little bit crazy here, and we're going to buy 2 phasers. They're costing 2 apiece. It's going to go in our discard pile, and that's the end of our turn. Just very simply. So we're going to have to shuffle our cards, and then we're going to be drawing 5 new ones. And then we're going to be going over to the orange player. So just give me a quick little shuffle here, and let's see what we get. So 5 new cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see what we have. For our next hand, great. We got a Stumble, a Boldly Go, and 3 hacks. All right, that's going to be our hand for next time. Over we go now to the orange player. All right, the orange player was, yeah, he's really tripping and stumbling and fumbling about. He's got two Clanks to add to the Clank pool. There we go. Oh, and I should say you have to get into should tell you how to get it. This is locked. The control module is locked until you hack these little green access ports in 2 different modules. And when you do that, you get the access pass, which is this. I should have explained this. Of course, I didn't. Get the access pass, and that enrages the dude a little bit, and he moves up 1 on the track. Whenever you take an artifact, he moves up 1 on the track, and some of these little minor and major artifacts that you pick up will increase the rage of him as well. Alright, so he's got 3 purchase power and 1 movement. So for 1 movement, he's just going to follow us, because it's the only path he has. There he goes. And he's got 3 purchase power. So what does he want to do for 3? For 3, he's going to go ahead and grab the Underworld Contact. 2 purchase power and movement. And if he has synergies, it'll give him a credit. Boom! That's going to be his turn very quickly. End of his turn, we replace the card. And holy jump, a Space Pirate, 2 attack. Ooh, arrive. Put 3 black cubes in the bag. Well, all the black cubes are already in the bag. Darn it. And danger, pull +1 cube for boss attacks. Oh dear. So instead of pulling 3 out of the bag, we're going to be pulling 4. Alright, I'm going to shuffle up his discards, and he's going to get 5 new cards for his next hand. Probably going to do a couple more turns each, maybe 1 more turn each, and call it an episode. I think I pretty much described everything. Oh, and there are crystals you can get, and crystals do have things to do with card effects. So you'll see here, if you have a crystal, you can do this instead of the above text. So that's what the crystals are. There's 5 of them in the game. And there's certain locations around the board where when you go into that spot, you just gain a crystal. All right, orange player, 5 cards for the next hand. 3, 4, 5. We'll see what he's got. Hack, hack. Holy jump, couple scrambles. And a scramble, so he's scrambling and stumbling. All right, well, good for us. Okay, 1 more turn each. Over we go to ourselves. Alright, we're going to be doing 1 more turn apiece. So we have a Stumble, which is just fantastic. So in we go with a Clank. We have 2, 3, 4. We got 5 purchase power now. And we have 1 movement. Alright, 1 movement. Hey, for 1 movement, let's zoom down a little bit and show you where we're going. Alright, for 1 movement, we're going to move over here to the quick travel location. Now, you can use this without using boots, so we could zip off to another part of the ship if we so desire. And I'm wondering if we want to go ahead and do that, because that would be a pretty good thing to do, or not. Maybe we'll hold off on that. Alright, let's go back and look at our cards. We've spent our 1 boot movement. We have 2, 3, 4. We got 5 purchase power. Alright, this time we've got 5 purchase power. We're going to go ahead and get the Space Pirate for 1. He's worth 1 victory point at the end of the game as well. That's going to cost us 3, and that gets rid of the danger, pull an extra cube, so that's good. And he gives us 2 swords and 2 purchase power, so we're getting the Space Pirate for 3, and we're also buying the Crystal Runner from Logan's Run. And 1 victory point, costing 2, so that's our 5. Choose one, so we could take a power crystal just out of anywhere, or sell a power crystal for 5 credits. Nice. So those are the 2 cards we're getting. Yep, end of the turn. So we're discarding our cards, of course, but now we got to pull 2 cards from here, and we get the Battle School Genius. I don't know if this is Ender or Bean, one of the 2. Looks more like Bean, I think, a little crazy. Alright, and the next card is the Professor. Yeah, it looks like the female 4th Doctor. Alright, and that's, wow, 3 purchase power, 6. You may place any cards you acquire this turn top of your deck and say your discard pile. Wow, very cool. Alright, well, there we go. We're going to zoom out, and then, oh, well, we're going to get 5 new cards for our next hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops, throwing my hacks on that down on the purchase area. So we have for our next hand an access, a scramble, and a hack. So we've got 4 purchase and 2 movement. That'll be for the next episode when we come back tomorrow. All right, over we go to the orange player to wrap up our turns for today. And so far we've been pretty lucky. We have not had any attacks happen. So he's got a hack. He's got 2 scramble, 2 clanks. So basically, in his hand, he's got a movement, 3 acquisition power, and 2 fumbling abouts. So his 2 fumbling abouts, he's going to add 2 into the clank area. And he now has a movement. And he's going to... Where is he going to go? What do we have here? You know what? He's going to move up here 1. He's kind of heading off in a different direction from us, which is fine with me. All right, so that's his 1 movement. He has 3 purchase power remaining. So let's see what he wants to do with his 3 purchase power. All right, and for 3 purchase power, he's just going to go ahead and get a boldly go for 3, giving him a movement and 2 purchase. And that's going to be the end of his hand. In his discard pile, he's got 5 new cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to see what he gets. For his next hand, he's going to have a hack. He gets his android runaway, but he's got no synergies because this is the purple faction. Wow, he's got a lot of movement though. He's got 3 movement, 2, 4, 5, and he's got 6 acquisition. Not a bad hand for next time. We're going to see that in the next episode. So this is Clank in Space. We're doing a 2-player game. Again, we've got to hack a couple of these green modules, and you get what it says there on the module locations themselves. And you got to do it twice, and everybody has their own colored couple of data module cubes. And when you do that, you get access to the command module where we can go and steal an artifact and then try and get out in one of these escape pods and try to win the game with the most points. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, likes. This is Clank in Space. We're doing a 2-player game. It's kind of a quick little fun head-to-head game here where we're trying to get in, steal the artifact, and get out before the other player. We'll see how it goes. So thanks so much. I'll see you tomorrow for the continuation of Clank in Space.